Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at a piece of hardware that is, well, it's absolutely critical to modern broadcast. It's the essential translator between what happens in a studio and what you see at home. We're taking a deep dive into the Thor Broadcast H-2HD-EMH-AC3. It's a 2-channel HDMI encoder.
And this is truly pro-grade stuff. I mean, we are not talking about a consumer gadget here.
Not at all.
This is a high-density solution for, the big players, major broadcasters who need to transport, distribute, or even just archive live video.
So this is basically the engine room of a television head. It's taking up to 2 raw 1080p60 HDMI feeds.
Yep, 2 clean feeds.
And then it packages them for professional distribution systems, specifically for the North American market.
Exactly. And that North American part is, well, it's why that AC3 and the model number is so important.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's start with the audio. We see a lot of encoders, but this one has a licensed Dolby AC3 codec. Why is that specific license so crucial?
Because it's about getting on the air. It really is. It's often a commercial, sometimes even a regulatory necessity.
Right.
So, yeah, the unit supports modern codecs like AAC, but that Dolby AC3, that's your ticket. It provides the critical legacy audio support that so many cable and satellite providers require for carriage.
So without it, your distribution options just shrink.
Immediately, yeah. This box basically guarantees you meet the baseline audio requirements to play in that market.
And what about video? It handles both the older MPEG-2 standard and the more modern H.264.
Right, up to full 1080p60.
But wouldn't running something in MPEG-2 just eat up a ton of bandwidth?
Especially since the unit maxes out around 19 megabits per second.
That's the trade-off, That's the choice the engineer has to make. The dual capability isn't always about being the most efficient. It's about flexibility. Sometimes you have a legacy modulator or some archiving system that will only accept MPEG-2. So that 19 Mbps ceiling, which supports both CBR and VBR, by the way.
Constant and variable bitrate. Yep. That's where you make the call. You go for efficiency with H.264 for distribution, or you go for compatibility with MPEG-2 for some specific in-house need.
And that flexibility seems to be a theme because it extends right into the IP output stream.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really versatile. The unit provides a standard IPTV output, UDP, RTP, unicast, multicast, all the usual suspects.
And it delivers 2 different types of streams.
It does. It gives you individual SPTS, which are single program transport streams, and an MPTS, a multi-program transport stream.
Okay, why would an operator need both of those?
Well, SPTS is what you'd typically use for direct-to-consumer delivery, like an OTT streaming platform where every show is its own separate stream.
Got it.
But the MTTS, that is vital for your traditional headend. It packages multiple channels into one single stream. Super efficient for feeding QAM modulators or satellite uplinks.
And here's the part that really stood out to me for system integration. It has mirrored ASI outputs. That feels like a lifeline to older gear.
It is the ultimate bridge. ASI is, it's the backbone in so many existing broadcast facilities. Having mirrored ASI outputs means this box can just slide right into an existing rack.
Seamlessly.
Seamlessly. You don't need any extra conversion steps to connect to your existing modulators or decoders. It just works.
And you get that same level of control over the data inside the streams, too.
Full control. The encoder lets you customize all the program-specific information. You can configure your program IDs, your PIDs, your program names, and you have totally independent settings for each of the 2 channels.
So your electronic program guide and all your receiver tuning data will be instantaneous and, more importantly, accurate.
Exactly. Spot on.
Now, for broadcasters, uptime is everything. So we have to talk about reliability.
Yes. System failure is it's unacceptable in this world. And that's why this unit comes standard with dual hot standby power supplies built right in.
Redundancy.
Total redundancy. If one power unit fails, the other one is already running. You get non-stop operation.
And that all gets reflected in the price. It's a professional piece of kit, listed right now at $3,495, and it comes with a 2-year warranty.
So if you connect all the dots, the value is pretty clear. This is a reliable, high-density encoder that acts as a regulatory gatekeeper with that AC3 support, and it gives engineers maximum control.
So what this all means is that this device is really the unsung hero that makes sure your live HDMI feed is robustly converted, packaged correctly, and ready to be sent out across a ton of different platforms at the same time.
It handles modern distribution, but it does it all within that pretty strict 19 NeoB area ceiling. So here's something to think about.
Okay.
What's the next technological leap we're going to need beyond H.264 to handle the huge influx of 4K and HDR video efficiently, without having to rip out and replace our entire existing IP infrastructure? That's the next big question.